Drinking beer, I'm drinking coffee.
You know,
Wow, look at me. I'm a good guy now.
you're the best man in the world.
Rosberg!
Oh, gosh.
What's going on? Saturday. 1 day away from Sunday. It's going to be a good Sunday, I have a feeling.
I'm hoping so. Some good games I like. We both had a few decent weeks in a row, so
Yeah.
I have some big plays this week.
Last week was rougher for me. That London game, you hit it right. Don't bet on the London games.
Yeah,
I'll probably do it again this week.
Well, maybe my advice isn't gonna land this week.
You went 2-1-1 last week. I went 1-2-1. He is 8-3-2. I am 7-5-1. So he's got a little bit of a lead on me. I'm gonna get back this week.
Yeah.
Now, what I realize is I'm better at fantasy than I am at gambling, for sure.
Yeah.
Probably because it's impossible to be better at anything than I am at fantasy. Sorry.
Well, I think we described it as I have a little bit more of a macro view, and you're more micro. Like week to week, you're
Micro penis?
Well, you said it, not me.
I did.
I think that your props are. I look forward to your props, where I fade your picks. No,
Nice.
no. You're phenomenal at props.
Yeah,
You're better in season, where I kind of have an idea of what I think is going to happen throughout the entire season.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll bet in season according to that. Like, well, I picked the Cardinals to win the division, so they have to win this game.
Right.
Right? And that's where I'll mess up, but you'll know in the moment.
So the prop bets are, for those of you that don't know, ties more to fantasy than it does gambling, right? It has to do with players' yards for, that week.
Essentially, you're gambling on the fantasy aspect of it.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
if you like DFS, props are something you want to look at because you don't have to hit every single one of your DFS guys.
And some of the best props I like are guys that, we know are good or whatever, and we know they have opportunity, and maybe they've been struggling. Like Robert Woods, we were talking about, was struggling.
Yeah.
The prop the week, was his numbers were getting lower when he was due to get bigger.
Yeah, like
Those kind of things.
Like last week when Gaskin played the Bucks. If you had Gaskin everywhere,
I have Gaskin everywhere. He has Gaskin everywhere.
Or right now, if you have Chuba everywhere and you bet early in the week his prop because CMC was maybe coming back now on IR.
Yeah.
You have Chuba everywhere.
So along that lines, I'm going with kind of depreciated, not so much players, but just with what they're doing, I feel like they're underperforming, and this is the week to get right for them.
So basic philosophy, again, macro, micro. He's looking at guys that are at high value early in the season that are undervalued right now, but have a history of producing a lot of value. With my macro stuff, I kind of looked where all I looked at is value, like with the Cardinals. I just saw a good team that was super undervalued because they were in a tough division. And essentially, that's what we're doing. We're looking for value where the public perception makes whether a player's struggling, the team's struggling, that's where you find the value, and that's where you find these bets.
Yeah. You want to lead us off here?
Yeah, I'll start off. So fading the London game was more of a last week thing, just because I didn't like either of those teams. It was Atlanta and the Jets. I had no clue, especially with the receivers out. This week, however, since I have Gaskin everywhere, no, I like Miami. This is a Jacksonville fade. I like Miami.
You don't like Miami.
I'm not a Miami guy, but I think they are a substantially better, more talented team than Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville, this is the week Urban Meyer gets fired on the flight home. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm betting. It's only -3. I think Miami's a better team. They're a prouder team. Getting Tua back. Gaskin's getting going.
You think Tua? Obviously, at first we were like, "Oh, it's maybe a good thing Tua's out," but we saw we saw what happens. I think what the hell is his name?
Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett. Yeah,
I think what is missing is the enthusiasm and excitement from the team.
Yep.
Like it feels like when Brissett is struggling, they're like, well, there's no getting out of this. Where Tua has flashes of brilliance, and he was drafted to play well. So.
Yeah, well, All right, my first prop bet. You're gonna like this.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray,
Oh,
rushing yards. So again, he's been having a great year. What Kyler hasn't been doing is rushing.
Yep.
At all. He has one game of over 20 yards rushing right now, which is fucking crazy.
yeah.
Guy's elite. I mean, the thing is, he hasn't had to. They've been winning every game. You know, why put his body at harm? The one game he did go over, which I bet was against the Rams, and they ended up blowing the Rams out. But he still, you know, with that pass rush, he had to get out of the pocket. He had like 37 yards rushing.
I think it all came on 2 third down conversions. Like a 16-yard scamper.
That's all he needs.
Well,
So
yeah.
this week, his rushing total is 26.5. So I feel like he can get that on 2 rushes for sure, maybe 1.
Yeah.
And then when you got Myles Garrett, you got Clowney, you have guys that are going to be giving pressure on him, and they have a good defense. It'll be a close game. Most likely, I mean, look at the line; they're getting 3.5 points.
Yeah.
So if they're losing the game, it's Kyler time.
I like this a lot because one, Kingsbury, primary play caller, is out.
Yep.
So he's going to potentially have to improvise a little bit more. Also, Rodney Hudson starting centers out. So there might be some additional pressure where he has to go outside the pocket a little bit more.
My Kyler deep guy. I actually mentioned the Kingsbury thing, so he took my thunder on that one. But
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
yeah, it's okay. Well, obviously you knew that he was
You
out.
broke
but-
the news to me, I guess, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
And then
should
you're
give
breaking
you-
the news to them.
I should
But
give you
it's
the
all
credit.
good. It's all. I mean, you know everything Cardinals.
No,
So,
I like that. It's Kyler hasn't had even though he's one of the front runners for MVP. It's trying to phrase it almost looks like it's come easy. We
Yep.
haven't had to see Kyler carry the team yet,
this is a Kyler carry the team game, right?
and,
No
and,
coach.
and that's one run. That's
Tough
one
fucking
run for him.
team. Close game. Also, it's the game of the week, I believe, the 3:00 game of the week.
Oh, let's go!
So it's Kyler time.
Let's
60
go.
yards rushing.
Finally get to watch
Call-
some
Right.
real football, right?
I call 60 yards.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So this is the noon game. So you just follow these simple instructions. You'll bet Miami -3. You'll wake up to a profit in your account,
Hey.
and then you'll be sitting there because you'll have Chargers +3 against Baltimore.
Ooh.
Every week I say Baltimore. Is
And you got it early in the week. We both did.
I got
plus
it
3.5.
3.5. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hammered 3.5. I also bet the money line. I like the Chargers
Yeah,
straight
you
up.
like them to win the game. I do as well.
Different tiers of teams. Baltimore to me is they have so much fight in them, but I just don't see them sustaining this. I think that things have gone or too many things have gone right for them. Where the Chargers seem like an ascending team, I think they're going for the division. Last week we talked the Chargers and Browns as a potential wild card seeding matchup. Now we're talking about home field advantage seeding matchup with the Ravens. So the Chargers aren't going to come in laying down. I know they just scored a ton of points, but Chargers +3. I like a money line, but for this bet, for our record, I'm going to take them +3.
Nice thing about that bet is they have Mike Williams. So
They do.
he's on the team still, guys.
You know what? Double it down.
Yep, now we're adding more money. Okay, my second prop here. Ryan Tannehill. We've been talking about him a little bit on the pod. He's been struggling. He's had, I looked it up, he had 2 games of 197 yards passing. So recently, obviously, the passing numbers, well, the receivers being gone, and then a couple easy game scripts.
Well, plus they haven't had to throw the ball at all
Yeah.
with Derrick Henry.
But the game against Seattle, week 2, I believe he had 398. And he has another game, I don't remember which one it was, he had 317. So they're getting Julio Jones back. A.J. Brown, although they said he might be limited, played last week and he wasn't limited. So I
he's
think
a gamer.
Yeah.
He's the same old as Chubb. He's able to play.
Yeah.
I like him out there.
And it's just more about what he does to the defense, not even about his stats. So Ryan Tannehill right now, passing yards is 237.5. Now, that is very low. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I think we were talking, was it last night or 2 nights ago, we were talking about these props. And I said that he's going to end with 260.
I asked you real quick, what do you think it should be at? You said in the 260s.
That's where I
right.
expect him to finish in the 260s passing.
Yes.
You said 280s.
Yeah.
So
when I see the number 237.5,
between the two of us, on the low end, we're saying it's a 20
Yeah.
20 yard advantage. You're saying 40.
yeah, and what I like is they're against the Bills. They're at home against the Bills, laying 5.5 points. Or sorry, getting 5.5. So I feel like game
This is
script's going to help.
Sunday or
This
Monday
is Monday Night Football.
Let's go.
So like the Bills' defense is solid. Don't get me wrong. Harder to run against than they are to throw against, and he's gonna have to be throwing. And it's
I like
the thing is either game script works, because if they're gonna win this game, Ryan Tannehill's got to play well. He's gonna play well. If they're gonna lose this game, Ryan Tannehill's got to throw.
Yeah.
So and I looked at all the numbers. Geno Smith was at like 235 against the Steelers defense, right? Like
Tannehill was
237. So it's like, dude,
Yeah.
there's no one lower than him.
Huh.
Like he's like one of the like top 3 lowest.
So this
numbers.
is, I like this because this is fading Buffalo's recent 3.
Yeah.
What the public is saying.
They could still lose by 17 points and he gets 280 yards
To me,
passing.
to me, agree or disagree. Buffalo is a bend but don't break type defense.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
that's the way you stack up 8-9 yard completions left and right. I
Yep.
like that. That's nice.
And getting Julio back helps too.
Yeah.
All right, what's your third game?
So this one's going to be a little obvious. Narratives are, I would say, for the most part, going against. Let me start off with it's the Cardinals plus 3.5 it's at Cleveland. Narratives are going against it. Obviously, the coach out, things like that. But we were discussing when the Cardinals beat the Rams. We're like, all right, what's the next most difficult game on the schedule? And we both kind of circled this one. So I think to me this is a kind of what I was talking about before, where I think macro. Like if the Cardinals, I place the best record, division, things like that. Rams are right on their asses, and they have a pretty easy schedule coming up over the next few games. This is not a look ahead game. They're not going to say, well, a tough team, but Chubb's out. I think they're going to come full force, rally around the missing coach, Kingsbury out. I think they're equally. This is my Super Bowl matchup. My prediction for the Super Bowl is Browns Cards, and when I think the teams are both that good, I'll take the points.
Yeah.
Plus the more dynamic quarterback.
Well, not just the points, the hook.
Also, yeah.
Beautiful.
Also, the Cards are better on the road than they are at home. They have scored, I think, 37 total points at home. Now they're on the road again, where they average like 35.
Well, all right. You're going to like this, my third one here. Darren Waller, been struggling. Raiders been struggling.
Yep.
After that first week where he had 19 targets, and if he didn't drop those 2 passes, would have had 13 catches for, $180. He's been hovering around, 7-8 targets a game, 4 or 5 catches for 40, 50 yards. That's not Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Now, all the controversy is over. I know the new head coach is their special teams guy. He's a big rah-rah guy. He's, obviously a guy I think the players are going to rally around.
Yep.
And I heard something that starting the week, Derek Carr is the Raiders, right? Like, more than Gruden was. Gruden was a fraud, whatever. We're not going to go into Gruden. Derek Carr, there was that play earlier this year where he got hurt. Looked like a bad injury.
Yeah.
It was down on the field. Everyone from that Raiders sideline came out, right? Now, if Tua got injured like that, I'm sorry. Not everyone in Miami is going to be doing that. And, certain players, they love Derek Carr. Yeah. Derek Carr is a gamer. He is a warrior. Like I said, he's the Raiders, and he loves the Raiders.
Kind of embodies them, right?
The team loves him, and this is a game where it's going to – I actually picked a game. My fourth bet isn't a prop. It's a game.
Okay.
But I feel like the Raiders – are going to roll in this one, or at least keep it competitive. And how do they do that? Darren Waller's receiving yards 58.5.
Yeah, I'll say this much. I'll say over the last 2 years since I tried to get to your level in terms of fantasy and then I guess just sports involvement, specifically fantasy. My 2 teams I would say have been the Cardinals and the Raiders. Right. Mm-hmm. This is Derek Carr's 4th year in this offense. Nothing's like. They were a top 10 offense last year. They're going to be a top 10 offense again this year, I think.
It's looked bad the last 2 weeks. But
so Gruden, if anything, it was probably more of a distraction because apparently the players knew more emails were coming out against the Bears, and that's why they looked so flat. Right. Had no fight in them towards the end, which is the opposite of what you saw from the Raiders the first 4 or 5 weeks, right?
Come from behind.
They were down 14 points every single game.
Yep.
First 4 games, or 3 games, and then they won, and then almost came back against the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that flips back around. From everything I've heard, it sounds like the Raiders players aren't necessarily happy with the decision. They feel like if he's going to go down, like there's a million other coaches that should have the same treatment.
Yep.
So I feel like it's a rallying moment.
Yep. And Waller's amazing.
The offense isn't. My point was long-winded. My point was the offense isn't going to change too much.
Nope.
So
and how do they get right? Is they haven't been feeding Darren Waller, been losing games.
You win maybe this game on the road.
I think Darren Waller gets about between 10 and 13 targets this game.
Yeah.
And that guy's too good to not. Even if he gets 8, That's 60 yards.
And what was the number again?
58.5.
58.5.
Pretty low, man.
Yeah.
Bet that shit.
So
If he loses it, he gets 53. He might get 140 fucking yards. So
here's I guess this is the plan, I think, because my fourth game is also a 3 p.m. game. So what was it? What was your Monday night
my
prop?
Tannehill prop.
So that's Monday night. So
Yeah.
when you win all these bets, you
Yeah.
just hammer the Tannehill prop
Yeah.
and just make a ton. No, don't
Yeah,
do that.
right.
It's very irresponsible. Don't let it ride. But my fourth bet is actually we're just talking about the Raiders.
Ooh.
You're getting +4 right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, spoiler alert. That's my fourth pick. My one game I'm picking. You know what this means, guys? When we have the same pick, it wins.
So right now, I know it's probably difficult because we don't put these numbers up on anything. So unless you listen to every single word we say, I think we are. It's either 3 or 4-0,
I think
right?
it's 3-0.
Yeah, because we've been doing stuff off camera.
Yeah.
We've
But we're 3-0 when we pick the same
3-0,
game, and
yeah.
now we're letting it ride. This will be 4-0. Raiders +4 at Broncos.
Yeah.
We both kind of don't. I think the Broncos are a solid team. I think they're a 500 team, but I don't think they're. I feel like they're okay. They're the same team as the Raiders. The difference is you're getting 4 points.
better offense. Yeah, I just think this is. I don't know.
Well, you know how you always say different tiers of teams and dance and sing.
Yeah.
This is same tiers of teams, but
And
getting 4.
kind of what I was saying with the Cardinals and Browns.
Yeah. Same tier. Take the fucking points. And what I did actually on my bet, I didn't bet them +4. I probably will. I bet them. I switched the line, made Raiders -2.5, +210 or something like that.
Yeah, and just 3 weeks ago, the Raiders were undefeated and riding high.
Right.
And obviously, this Gruden news started to come out post the Chargers game. So
Yeah.
the Bears game, they should have smoked the Bears, man.
Yeah.
That was obviously a disappointment. I think they're moving on, and I like it. So
One quick thing on the Broncos. So what are they?
I don't think we have time.
What are they? 3-2.
I believe so.
3-2. Okay. So here's who their wins are over:
Oh yeah.
Giants, Jets, Jags. That's not aging well.
No.
The Jags are terrible. They don't have a win. The Giants, okay, they're frisky, but that's not great. And the Jets are terrible. So that's wins over 2 of the worst 3 teams in the league.
I like
And the
that.
Giants, who are a bottom 10 team in the league.
Where the Raiders have beaten
Baltimore.
They beat. They beat. Who did they
They
beat?
beat a
Week
couple
one?
of really good teams.
They beat week 1. They upset.
Week 1 was Baltimore.
But it was 3 weeks in a row. The first
Yeah.
3 weeks they upset. Well, yeah, either way, the Raiders have had a more difficult schedule, and they have the same record. It's in division, so these guys know each other. If you're worried about Gruden not being there to make the calls, if that's the reason you're going to fade the Raiders, I think that's a mistake.
Because how has it been working the last couple weeks with Gruden there? You know what I mean?
I'll highlight mine real quick.
Yeah.
I got London game, so early morning. You got to bet it early. Make sure you remember that. Dolphins -3. And then you go to the noon game. I got the Chargers +3. And then for the late games, Cards +3.5 and Raiders +4.
All right, I got Kyler Murray's rushing yards, 26.5,
Yep.
over. Ryan Tannehill, passing yards, 237.5, over. Darren Waller receiving yards, 58.5, way over. And then the Raiders +4.
Yep.
Let's go. Prop squared.